Welcome to the SwimSwam podcast. I'm your host, Coleman Hodges. Joining me today, we've got a very special guest. She's an Olympic champion, a world champion, a European champion. If there's a meet, she's probably won it. Today, we are sitting down with sprinting legend Ranomi Kromowidjojo.
Hello.
Hi, Ranomi. It's great to sit down and chat with you. I'm glad we could make this work. I want to start off with the 2020 ISL bubble in Budapest. You were once again a member of Team Iron. Overall, how did you feel about this pretty unique 6-week experience?
Well, my ISL experience was amazing. After like a tough year, 2020 was for everyone a big challenge and a tough year. And I kind of didn't expect it to be that awesome. I was really looking forward to races and race against my international competitors. And well, besides the racing, I had so much fun. So it was truly amazing. It was like a big one. Well, let's say before I went to Budapest, I was kind of, I didn't knew for sure like how it would be for 6 or 5 weeks in a bubble. So I expected it would be much harder. But time flew by and I had lots of fun.
Yeah. Start with pre-Budapest. Were you able to prepare in a way that you wanted to? I know everyone's situation was pretty different with pool times and out of the pool training. Did you feel prepared to be racing going into Budapest?
I think the previous months before ISL for me was quite good. I had a not that long summer break because of COVID, of course. So we trained like all summer, and then we had a pretty tough, training month, end of August, beginning of September. So I didn't came into Budapest all rested, but I think that's same for a lot of other swimmers. But I cannot complain about how I felt going into the Budapest bubble.
Yeah. And then moving through it just physically as an athlete, you're used to racing a lot in a very short time span. But what was that like, especially towards the end of the bubble? I think a lot of teams had like 2 days on, 2 days off of racing. How did you move through those competition weeks?
It's pretty intense. And, the competition is just 2 days. It's just 2 hours. So just 2 hours with a lot of racing, like really a lot. But the rest of the day I'm kind of free, and I didn't do like really hard training sessions in between the competitions. But I have to say that after 5 weeks, or I think after 3.5, I started to get a little bit fatigued, and I was kind of tired, but also excited. So that was like, on the one side, I was getting a little bit tired. And then on the other side, I was really excited making the semifinals. So I think because of the excitement, I managed to perform well and swim fast races.
Yeah. So you said 3.5 weeks in, you are getting a little fatigued. How do you manage that? Or what adjustments do you make moving forward into that, especially into that semifinal meet?
Obviously, we were not like the favorite to make the finals even, or to win the finals. So it was our job to make the semifinals and then make the best of it. For me, my goal was to try to swim every meet a little bit faster or better. Depends on the races and the events I swam. To be honest, I expected it like that I would grow into the 5 weeks of racing. That didn't happen. So it kind of was like every competition there were one or two races that went really well. But for me, I expected it to be like going per competition better. But I think that has to do with had to do with with the fatigueness and a little bit tiredness, and maybe I don't know.
So the meets were a little sporadic racing wise, but then outside of the pool, tell me about did you establish a routine in the bubble for those 5 weeks that you were there, just outside of competition?
Yeah. Before I went to Budapest, I got like the training schedules from my home coach, so I knew what to do for the 5 weeks kind of training. So with like in my head, it wouldn't be like a big 5 week taper party, but we had to do some serious stuff during the trip. So we needed to work on my on the training.
Mm-hmm.
So I did, of course, a lot of training, but besides that, I expected it to be a little bit lonely, and you had to be like on your room the whole time and be on your own the whole time. But it turned out like after a couple of days and after some testing that I think all the teams they grew to each other. And for my experience, Team Iron, who are most of the swimmers are really like from different countries, and maybe they didn't know each other before. We grew like one big team, and that was really special. I know some teams, they're like, for example, Team Energy, half of the team is already training together, and that's not the case with Iron. But after 5 weeks, we were just like, one big family. So that was really, really, really nice.
So Team Iron was able to build a really strong bond. In what were some of the ways that facilitated you guys growing as a team?
I think because we are like the majority was European and kind of individual swimmers. So I think none of the swimmers or most of the swimmers weren't waiting for like doing team building activities every day, but we tried to do some like once or twice a week. And then I think the competitions, the meets, they made it like we were a real team. So when you weren't racing, stand in the box and cheer for your teammates. And that's, for me, for example, I'm not used, I'm used to cheering, of course, but I'm not, haven't been like a college swimmer like US college. So we're not used to kind of doing the dual meets and stuff. So that's I think big difference with the meets I usually do for the national team, swimming for the national team, and you're just focusing on your own individual race. This was quite the opposite, like cheering for your team, how bad you feel, how good you feel, how tired you are, just race and then run back to the team box to cheer for your teammates, which gave me a lot of energy. Yeah.
And are you someone who's kind of used to operating, especially in the swimming sphere, more independently or alone?
Yes and no. So I think I'm kind of swimmer who, I'll manage both. Like I can really be a team player, but I also manage to be to swim on my own. I think it's what I've always done, like swim the individual races, but I've always been a part of the national team relay, the 4x100 freestyle relay. So I'm used to being part of the team. And I think not all the swimmers are used to being part of the team. How crazy that might sound, maybe for Americans. But so I think yes and no.
Well, and I think it's really cool that the ISL exists now, because so many more swimmers get to have that team experience. Because like you said, in the US, I think college swimming is like the top. That's like why people swim here, is to go to college swimming and be a part of that, have that team experience. Do you like just normally, do you train with a team or do you have
Yeah.
training partners?
Yeah, I'm quite with a quite big team in Eindhoven in the Netherlands. The team is about like 14 people. Um, we do have the open water group with 4 guys. They're kind of a bit separated now. They do a kind of different training than I do. But we have
Mhm.
a really big team, big group. So I never train on my own. One of my teammates is Femke Heemskerk, also the Dutch freestyle champion. So yeah, no, I never swim on my own. No,
You-
wouldn't think about it. No.
Okay, yeah, that was kind of my next question is like, have you always had big teams or do you enjoy having that big environment to train with?
Yeah, I think, well, when I started as a kid, of course, I was swimming for a club. So I
Mhm.
was doing competitions for the club. And then since I was 18 when I became like a pro and moved to Eindhoven. And since then, the team is, I think, average between 6 and 10 people, swimmers. And I really do need teammates. I wouldn't think of doing the laps on my own. And of course, when you are swimming compared with other sports, you cannot speak and talk and, well, chat and listen to your coach. But I need other people during training. And not just for when it's hard and to encourage me, but also just having fun and, well, yeah, having a good time.
Yeah. Are you able to train somewhat normally now in these last few months? I guess maybe since ISL, with I don't know what the restrictions are like in the Netherlands right now.
Yes, we are really fortunate because we're still in lockdown, or again in a lockdown, and the pools are still closed. Well, they're closed, but for the pro athletes, they are open. So we are able to train, to go to the pool, and to the gym, and doing our groceries, and that's kind of it. So we can do our job, and social life is kind of boring right now, but that doesn't matter. I really feel very lucky. I'll be able to swim now.
Yeah. Has your training changed much? You know, you are able to swim. Has the routine changed a lot just in terms of what you're doing in the pool on a week to week basis?
Last year it did. I think in March we were out of the water, and then I think we were for like 6 weeks out of the water. And when we went back to training again, I did a lot of high intensity training and also did some cycling or spinning at home. So I swam for like 6 sessions a week instead of 10. 9, 10 is the average I'm doing. And we continued with that until ISL, actually. So we did lots of high intensity and not that many meters. And I think after ISL, we had competitions and we had to prepare for the Olympic trials, the Dutch Olympic trials. And then it was Christmas break. I had a really long Christmas break for about 3 weeks. So in January, we started last month, we started with like normal routine again. So some aerobic swimming. But for me as a sprinter, it's not that much. So I can't say it's like a lot, but sometimes for me, 4.5K or 5K feels a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot for sprinters.
Yeah,
Um,
but I'm living with open water swimmers, so I'm happy to be a sprinter. Let's say that.
yeah. Was there a specific reason you took that extended 3 week break during Christmas?
Yeah, because we trained during the summer and we had only like 1 week summer break, and usually I have kind of 3 weeks summer break. But we wanted to use that time for the trials Olympic qualifying champs in December. So
Mhm.
after that, well, it wasn't a plan to do a long break, but I felt like I needed a long break because Olympics are in the summer. So I had a lot of time to prepare for Olympics. So 3 weeks off is for me, it's no problem. I really enjoy it, and I don't miss swimming. No, I really enjoyed my Christmas break.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, are you the kind of person who will like stay fit or stay active, or are you just like, no, I'm not doing any physical activity for 3 weeks. Like I won't think about it at all.
Well, I'm not the type of person who can like sit on the couch for the whole week and watching movies or TV shows or something. So I cannot um, lay down or sit still for a whole day long. But I think, well, I'm easily a week can go by without swimming for me. That's no problem. And yeah, I think um, I do like exercise a little bit on the land, doing dry lands, I walk a little bit and cycle a little bit. The Dutch people love to cycle, so being outside. But I didn't miss the swimming. I really needed to reload and prepare for the summer. So 3 weeks without swimming makes like I'm really reloaded again and really sharp and really how to say it in English, like really willing to train fast and train hard for the summer.
Yeah. So now that you're back in training, do you have a normal cycle of, okay, Monday morning is going to be aerobic work and Tuesday afternoon will be sprint, power, and Wednesday is 100 pace? Do you have do you kind of know what you're going to do day to day?
Yes and no. I think like we do have the periods of time when it's kind of like on Monday morning we have like a long session, or in the mornings we have technique, and in the evening sessions we have like more build up paces. And that's kind of what I've done for like whole my life or whole my career. So I think the harder practices are in the evening sessions, and technique and skills is in the morning. But I can't say that it's like that I know that it's like a routine and I know what I'm going to do every day. And it's changing every year. Maybe not like every year, but every now and then, because, well, I'm in the national team for about, I don't know, 15 years right now. So if I would do like every day the same, or every routine for every week the same for 15 years, that's not my type of workout. So I need to be like I don't know how to say it, but I don't have to know what kind of training I'm doing. Of course, I want to know if it's going to be a tough training or if I have to prepare for it, but not exactly like how many meters or what's the set or something.
Yeah. As I mentioned before, as you just mentioned, you've been doing this for so long, and it's such a high level for so long. You've been on the national team for 15 years. I'm kind of wondering, I know I heard in an interview recently with you that, there's a life beyond swimming, and that's going to come eventually. And I wonder how you balance that life now, with still swimming, but also just with being Ranomi the human. Do you think there have been points in your career where the training hasn't been there, or training has been not at your best level, but you're still able to compete because you're in a good place mentally? Or do you think when you're in a good place mentally, that always leads to good training and performances?
No, not at all. Of course, I had some periods where training was not like on my best, but I think swimming for like 25 years or 20 years, and I don't know, 15 or 12 years on international level, when you do that, you cannot expect to be, well, you might expect to be at your best every time and perform at your best every time and every year and every season. But you're going to figure out that sometimes you win, and sometimes, and even more times, you lose. And then you're going to ask yourself the question, well, what's what's winning for me. Is winning just like winning the gold medal or swimming a record, or is winning maybe doing the best I can and the best performance I can do at that moment. And I think that's more the terms I'm focusing about now. So of course I want to win gold medals and want to break world records, but it's the way to achieve that is just to focus on my own races, my own strategy, and try to be to be at my own best. And yeah, it's I think it's with ups and downs. That's life. And yeah, some people, they expect it to always be at your best. And I think as a pro athlete, you have to strive to be at your best. But then you have to accept that sometimes someone else might be better. But then again, don't give up. I think that's, well, in a quick answer, that's it. Like, don't give up, and you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some, but after all these years, the most important thing is having fun and enjoying swimming, and that's what I'm doing. And if I would be going to the pool for months or for weeks without any fun and with a lot of hesitation, I wouldn't be chatting with you right now. I'm really loving what I'm doing. And I feel really fortunate to have this life. Yeah, so I'm really, really happy. And there's still a big fire burning in myself, in me, about swimming my best race. That's still to come. But then on the other side, I know there's a life after swimming, and that doesn't scare me. It's well, I don't know what it's going to be, but it doesn't scare me. So that's a good thing also.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to dive a little deeper into this because I love a lot of the things that you just said. The first being, have there been moments throughout your career that you can kind of point to and say, this, these were periods that helped me redefine that definition of what success or what, winning means to me?
I think for me, to point at two moments in my career, the first one is winning double gold at the 2012 Olympics in London. Winning the 50 and 100 free was like my dream coming true, and winning, like what you dream of as a little child. But at that moment, I didn't went crazy, and it was because I didn't swim my best race even of the season, but I didn't swim like a personal best, or I didn't perform really well as the race. And I was taught to swim a good race. And that's the difference between winning a race or swimming a good race. And well, in the Olympics of 2012, I was really happy I won. And then 4 years later, I was like the defending champion, and I didn't win any medal, but I saw my best races of the season. And so it was quite the opposite. So I really felt after the Olympics, I had to explain, I had to explain to the press or the media, like, why didn't you just grab 2 more gold medals and bring home for your country? That kind of thing. And of course I wanted to win. But I didn't swim bad. I didn't swim bad races. And so 2012 and 2016 were like opposite Olympics for me. And after 2016, I was really like, but what does make you happy? And when are you satisfied? And that's like a really tough question for an athlete. When are you truly satisfied? Yeah, maybe with gold, but then you win gold and maybe you're still not satisfied. Or are you even ever going to be satisfied? And I think you have to be, you have to enjoy the little moments, like the little victories. So maybe surviving the 3rd round of the ISL skins or something, or swimming a PB on 50 back, something like that. And that kind of, maybe not very important things, but that kind of little moment give me joy in swimming and in my life.
And I mean, that's really what I wanted to get at, is because I think for swimmers who might be listening to this, swimming is sold as like, all right, gold medal is the standard, right? Or like, this is what's going to bring you happiness or joy. And within swimming, there's so many things to take joy from, to take away is, oh, this can bring me happiness or bring me joy. My next question was going to be, can you point to some of those little moments, like you said, third round of skins, 50 back TB. It's like, even on the big stages, like at a world championships or at a nationals, it's like, that do some of those meets stick out to you as maybe not having gone the best by the standards of like going best times or winning, but you still took away a lot of joy from?
Yes, and I think especially the last years, well, maybe after 2016, um, because in '08 in Beijing, I won a gold medal with the relay, and then in 2012, I won gold medal on my own, and then in 2016, I kind of, for me personally, it didn't felt like that way, but made feel like I didn't succeed. So after that, I really became more aware of the road to a big tournament and enjoying the road. And I think before that, I was just focusing on the main goal. And I think, well, everyone has their own way to succeed and to go to that level. And well, you can learn from the best, but you have to find your own way. And that's like uh, yeah, I don't know how to say it. It's like you're always moving, like you're never um, sitting still. It's like you're always going on. It's like going on process.
Mhm.
And well, I think I learned during the last years that there's no one way to win gold, whether it's like becoming Olympic champion or swim a PB or something. But everyone has their own way. You have to find your own way, what's working for you, and um, you're just gonna know that um, by failing and get up and failing again and get up again and fight for it. So yeah, you have to. Everyone is struggling. I think that's also important to know for especially the younger swimmers, um, that everyone is struggling and everyone is fighting a battle. Maybe not a big battle, but everyone has insecurities. And I mean, social media life can seem like a really picture perfect. Well, I think my life doesn't seem like picture perfect, but I'm happy the way I am, and it's fine. I really love the life I live, and I don't have a reason to complain right now, and I'm really happy to be a professional swimmer, and well, still keep going on.
Yeah. Do you feel like the the way you were brought up, or the environment you grew up in, was conducive to helping you have that attitude of gratitude and I'm happy with where I'm at now?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I grew up in a really safe and lovely environment with my mom and dad and older brother. And even though I'm not from a swimming family, so my father, he cannot swim. Um, so that's you don't need to have parents who are good swimmers to become a good swimmer. I know, but I'm from a sports family, and I was raised to like um, well, try to do your best always, but you also can be kind. And it's not like if you want to be successful, you cannot be kind. And that's like a mix, which is really important to me. Um, Stay friendly, but also you don't have to be shy. If you don't have to stand in the shadow, you can step forward. You can show your face, which is, well, I had to learn, kind of had to learn that, like, okay, come on, it's good. It's not bad to be in the spotlights, you know? Um, but, well, my parents and my yeah, I had a really good youth and still really good relationship with my family. So I'm really grateful for them, how they raised me. And yeah, being thankful is kind of things I was taught. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, going back to this process of defining success in many different ways, do you have certain people that have helped you along that way, just to lean on for support, maybe with the ups and the downs, um, and to help you kind of push you in the direction you're going?
Yeah, I think, of course, my parents, and they're not, for certain, they are not my swim coaches. So they are not involved with the swimming kind of stuff, which is when I became a grown up, it's easy to say, but when you're a kid, it's hard for your parents not to deal with training or personal best times or results at competitions. But they always manage to, well, not always, but I try to like keep the distance. I do have parents and I do have a swim coach, and those are different kind of people. But my parents always support me, and whether it's like a swimming success or not, they are always happy for me. And well, yeah, they hope for me the best. And I think my coach, until my coach in the London Olympics, Jacco Verharen, he was the coach of Pieter van Hogeband and Inge de Bruin. He kind of taught me to be not just a talented swimmer, but become like from a talented swimmer to a professional swimmer. And he learned a lot, like not just to become a professional swimmer, but also how to deal with stuff. I don't know, how to combine school and swimming, that kind of stuff, how to be like not just a swimmer, but also nice and decent person. So I owe Shaco a lot. He was like a big mentor to me. Yeah, and then throughout the years, I had some mentors, and not only in the swimming world. Now I have a really good friend, and he's not in the swimming world, but he helps me to like improve my human being side, and to show me. He showed me kind of that there's maybe a whole career after swimming, and like the thought of maybe swimming is just a step to something bigger, something something bigger. That's quite a big change of mindset. Well, maybe I speak too much, but I was always a swimmer, and I was a talented swimmer. So people always said to me, like, you are Ranomi, the talented swimmer, Ranomi the swimmer, Ranomi the swim champion, or little swimming kid or something. And then at a certain point, you are the swimmer. That's who you are. So when you are not performing well as a swimmer, then what's left of you, kind of. So yeah, he taught me like it's being a swimmer is kind of like a really big part of who I am right now. But it's not just who I am. I'm a human being, and there's more. There's more after swimming, after the swimming career, and yeah, that was a change of mindset, and that helped me and gave me a lot. Still gives me a lot of energy, and because I don't have to fear about. Well, I don't have to fear about anything, but I don't have to fear about what's coming after swimming, or who am I without swimming, that kind of questions.
I love that perspective, and I have to ask if this particular person, this friend, were there certain ways that they showed you, hey, swimming might just be a stepping stone to something bigger?
Well, I don't know. It's and I definitely wouldn't say like bigger as in like succeeding as in, I don't know, becoming famous or getting an international podium or maybe financial stuff, but knowing that I'm able to do more than just swimming. And
Mhm.
that I really don't mean by that to like just swimming. That might sound really strange, because swimming obviously now is the most important thing in my life. But yeah, I think I'm able to do more than swimming, and that gives a lot of energy. And the nice thing is that until the moment comes of retiring, um, when I speak out about another career, or about, well, self-development, you meet new people, or like, I don't know what you I don't know, like kind of the energy you're sending, you get it back. And the energy I get back and the people I meet, they help me to become a better swimmer as well. So in the end, it's like a win-win situation.
In terms of, life after swimming, self-development, like you just said, do you have hobbies, interests that you pursue now, with the idea of, hey, maybe I could pursue this even more after I'm done swimming?
Yeah. Speaking about self-development and knowing who you are, and what do you like, what do you love, and reaching your goals, and having like a fulfilling life, finding out what your destiny is. I think that's my thing for after swimming life. Um, I figured out so many people are struggling about things that we are not. Um, no one teaches us, not our parents, and they don't teach us in school. Like, yeah, I don't know. How do you deal with stress, and how do you deal with the high standards of modern life? Like, you have to be successful in all kinds of things. Like, yeah, you have to be successful in everything in a really short time, and you have to look nice, and you have to have nice friends and a social life, and good grades and everything. And then you have to be a swimmer and swim fast every weekend, but then you have to do everything right. But that's not life. And so many people, and there are so many young people like under 30 are sitting at home with a burnout. um, so obviously now this year a lot of people are sitting home, unfortunately, but I mean, like, um, yeah, so many people really don't know what's their destiny, and they just living life, um, but really don't have the passion or the energy, and they don't know how to deal with struggles. And I really would love help other people to find out, like, what's your destiny, and how do you overcome, I don't know, um, a stress or panic or sleepless nights or worrying. I mean, everyone is worrying sometimes. That's fine, but do you really have to? No, you don't have to. That's a choice. And but it's easy said than done. I mean, yeah. So I think the mental part is my is what really really intrigues me. So yeah, a lot of people ask me, like, are you going to be a swim teacher or swimming coach? And I won't be a swimming coach like at the pool side, for sure. I won't be, but maybe the mental side, that would be really interesting.
Yeah. So I have to ask, you seem exceedingly carefree, and not to say that you are. I'm sure, like you said, everyone has stresses and worries. But especially through this last year, I think it's been particularly stressful for a lot of people. How do you deal with stress, or how have you developed ways to deal with stress in swimming and outside of swimming?
Well, that's a good one. Inside and outside swimming, there are two different kind of stresses for me, like things I can control and things I cannot control. And well, the things I can control, for example, well, I don't know, the effort I put in my training tomorrow morning, I can control, or what I'm gonna have for breakfast tomorrow, I can control. But the fact if the Olympics will be this summer, I cannot control, or the fact about the whole COVID situation I cannot control. So I try to um, um, yeah, how to say it in correct English. Well, accept the fact that I cannot control everything. Just control the controllable. And well, just maybe for some people it's just a nice thought that everyone is struggling, because sometimes it seems like some people are just perfect, but it's not. Well, it might be, but no. And yeah, I'm not carefree, but I really don't like just to make a big deal of things. I don't like worrying, so I try not to worry a lot. No.
Makes sense. That's
It's easier said than done, and that's the thing with the mental side, or like mental training is also training, and it needs practice. And people, and especially athletes, they are putting so many hours in the pool or in the gym or something, and then they totally forget about the mental aspects of life. And yeah, if you ask like how many minutes a day you are aware of your thoughts, or you are training your your mental care, well-being, yeah, I don't think that's a lot. But it needs training. Just like you cannot expect to be a world record holder just when you start swimming. That takes a long time. You need to have practice for your mental side. And well, just try with 1 minute every day for about thinking about how your life's been, how your day was, or so. That's maybe a nice exercise.
I mean, that's meditation, right?
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, because I wouldn't say like I'm doing meditation. Sometimes I do, but yeah, some people call it mindfulness, and I think it's like being aware of what you do. And maybe it's about mindfulness is about like the split second of reacting or not reacting about a situation. So having the choice whether you go start panicking, or just like take a deep breath and realize you don't need to panic. Yeah.
I like that phrase a lot. Yeah, I mean, I personally, I sit for 10 minutes every morning, and I'm kind of with you. I don't like to use the phrase meditation. I think that has kind of a lot of weight in that word, but
Yeah.
being mindful has been, especially in the last year, I think has helped me personally a lot with everything going on that you can't control, like you said. So how do you practice, these mental training, mindfulness? How do you practice these things?
Well, I like to write, so I'm journaling, and it's not like I have a diary and I'm writing every day, but I'm writing every now and then, and sometimes it's about things um, I did the day, and sometimes it's about thoughts or a book or a film I saw or read. Um, Especially I'm writing about things that gives me energy, and I think that's really important about like being a happy person, knowing what gives you energy and knowing what costs you energy. And of course you cannot um, like exit all the energy leaks, but sometimes you can, like, of course COVID and the whole lockdown situation is a big energy leak, and I cannot control that. But what I do is, or what I don't do is like watching the news every day and every hour, and try not to be on social media like a lot of times. So I try to be well online, of course, and be well informed about what's going on in the world. But I think for me, it doesn't help me to watch the news every hour. It gives me a lot of stress and costs energy, and the energy I want to put in my swimming training.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially, yeah, this last year, I think the news has it can cost you a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, as well as inform you. But um, okay, last question. This is just pure curiosity. I know you do read, or you're an avid reader. Do you have a favorite kind of literature or books that you're into?
Oh, yeah. A lot about self-development, and yeah, but also like thrillers. I really like combine those two. So it's not always like the serious thing, and it's not just only about becoming a better person, but during training camps or meets, I really love to read a thriller just to like be in the book and don't care about anything else. Yeah, that's. But Netflix can do as well the same. Like just chill and don't think about anything else. Yeah.
Do you have something you've read lately that you've really enjoyed?
Okay, here comes the worst thing. Like since the lockdown, like I haven't read that much in the last 12 months. And that's really strange, but it seems to happen that I don't read that much when I'm at home. When I'm abroad on training camp or for meets, I can read like a book in 2 days. But when I'm at home, I'm just having other things to do. And then you can ask, yeah, but during the lockdown, what do you do? Yeah, I don't know. I have other kinds of stuff, and I'm not reading a book. So I didn't. No, I have to think about. Yeah, even the fact that I have to think about it is, well, 2 years ago I didn't expect to give you this answer. So no, sorry to disappoint you.
Oh, that's okay. No worries. Ranomi, I want to be respectful of your time. I really appreciate you sitting down to talk with me. Any parting thoughts before we sign off today?
Well, it was really nice to chat with you, and I hope my English. I know I can speak English, but sometimes I'm searching for the words. So I hope it's easy to hear and watch for the English and American viewers. But it was really nice talking to you, and it's well, even if I just inspired or helped one person, I'm really happy with it.
You've been listening to the SwimSwam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take SwimSwam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.